Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Taoing class. I am, as I mentioned, on the road, and the time change means that I would have to pipe in around midnight. So I'm going to do a pre-recorded class for class 10. And the theme of this class is inner and outer practice of Taoing. Let's get started. So, the two aspects of Taoing cultivation, where the outer cultivation is about movement. So, obviously, we've been spending time working on specific movements and stretching your fascia and also activating flow of qi and blood and making sure that the energy is flowing through not just the channels, the regular pathways, but also the collaterals, right? And in the process, stimulating the internal organs. Now, today, I would like to introduce the inner cultivation of Tao Ying, which involves meditation. So, meditation with themes. Now, there are typically invocations that go with these meditations and a hand posture, otherwise known as So Ying, which we'll talk about in a second. And then focusing on breathing, regulation, and the flow of qi. And finally, the invocation itself is to help refine your spirit. And what we're going to do is focus a little bit about more contemplative in nature. So, as we will see very soon, that is that will be our focus for this. All right. Um, let's move on. That's the outer inner. So sometimes also the since Taoing is a terminology is predates that of Qigong, that of Tai Chi, that of any cultivation really. It's the original terminology used. Um, Later on, different terms have been used to describe it, such as Nei Dan, which is the inner alchemy. And the reason that the term alchemy is used here is because the cultivation is like making of this immortal medicine through the process of combining different types of herbs and refining it, concentrating it, and extracting, and so forth. Not different from the alchemy of refining base metals like gold and silver and other metals. And so the term alchemy is applied to any kind of the internal arts, right, that are used to concentrate and sublimate the physical essence of Jing to Qi, and then transforming that Qi into Shen, reinforcing that of the spirit. Anyway, so Daoying was the original term, and then later on, different names have been used to denote the inner work of Daoying. So Neidan would be one of the terms that are used. So benefits of meditation, of course, you all kind of can appreciate. Meditation has been in the popular vernacular for quite some time, and a lot of scientific investigations, such as through mindfulness meditation, have been done and studied by major universities like Harvard and other schools. Um, so, of course, gathering and focusing your chi, stabilizing, calming the mind for sure, Also can be used to strengthen the energy centers of the dantian. And then the fire, water element, the two types of energy, which denotes yin and yang energy to be harmonized within. And so combined with movement, this is more of a stillness practice, right? Both of which work together in a yin and yang fashion to refine your life force, your qi. Now, I mentioned earlier about shouyin. So these type of meditations, there's actually a total of 21, and there is 7 meditations for each level. So we'll only go through 7 Daoing meditation with Soying, the first 7, 1 to 7. Daoing 2, about Daoing 3 will also have their sets of 7. Soying, little bit about Soying. Hand postures are sometimes called hand seals. These are postures that help to direct specific chi flow areas, focusing areas of the mind, for example, and they each embody a particular spiritual principle. Of course, in your hand, in the middle of your hand, you have pericardium 8, otherwise known as Lao Gong. That's a major exit point that you can use to project your chi. And with practice and discipline and the know-how, you can move chi out of your body through your palms to affect a change, almost like you can use it like like doing acupuncture without needles. You can use your chi to activate the acupuncture point or a region of your body. And certain hand postures, certain so yin, focus, concentrate that energy and completes the circuitry of the energetic flow. There are 7 themes that I want to go through with you for the first 7 invocations, right? First one is wholeness, then subtle integration, then peaceful mindedness, perfect harmony, equal mindedness, subtle virtue, and original simplicity. And like I said, each embody a particular spiritual principle. So, for example, wholeness is about conserving energy and keeping your spirit whole instead of scattering, as an example. Subtle integration has to do with harmonizing fire and water, yin and yang, or mind and body. Peaceful mindedness helps you clear mental distractions, stagnation, and a lot of angst that might come from your state of being. Perfect harmony is to stay and transform from adversity to calmness, harmony, okay, through various practices such as meditation. Equal mindedness is to cultivate balance of your emotions. Subtle virtue is to help you recognize and maintain integrity. And original simplicity is to help you return to the pre-heaven Tao, which is also called the unformed Tao. Let's discuss each of these postures. And what I would like you to do is once I kind of go through these postures, I would like to have you just go ahead and hold these postures and contemplate on these following questions, for the remainder of the class time. So, first one, You hold your hands out at 45 degrees. Okay, so arms are stretched out to the sides. Relax your hands at 45 degrees. Don't raise your shoulders. Relax and let go of the shoulder tension. Okay, so everything has to be relaxed. And the theme of this posture number one is divine nature of wholeness, is for gathering your spirit. And as you're holding, focus on posture. So besides the arm posture, you want to be sitting on a pillow. So you're raised up. That way your spine can be erect and straight without slouching, without straining. Okay, so you're lifting up in the sit bone, your ischium. And as you're holding this, you also want to focus on your breath. So breathing is always very natural and through your nose. So inhale and exhale, and try to slow down the breath as much as you can, and don't rush through it. And you could put a little timer on this so that you can kind of keep track of time if you like. And I would say 5 minutes per, or maybe start with just 3 minutes per posture. Okay, the showing. And as you go through this, contemplate on the following questions. What distractions scatter my energy? What happens when I withdraw my senses and return inward? In other words, instead of giving in to the external distractions, what happens when I pull my senses in? Can I experience a state of awareness that receives everything yet clings to nothing? So, this question asks you whether you can be receptive and accept what is, but have no attachment to any of it. So, try to allow the mind to settle into wholeness and presence, being here and now, not be distracted as much as possible. And by the way, in the beginning of any meditation session, or if you're a beginning meditator, it's totally fine to find yourself distracted with thoughts and images and whatever else it might come up. It's totally normal. Do not reprimand yourself. Do not get too hard on yourself. And don't be a perfectionist. Even advanced meditators will admit that sometimes, some sessions, you just have more thoughts than others. I like to use the practice of tying a balloon to every thought and let it float up into the sky. You might try that, or you might have other ways to help you. Just constantly let go and release the thoughts. And here is the second posture, divine nature of subtle integration. This is used to harmonize the mind and body, fire and water. And so your hands are raised, but relax. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Your palms are facing out. Okay, the hands are raised above your temple. And ask the following questions. Is my mind aligned with my body, or are my mind and body in conflict? So, in other words, is my mind trying to control or override my body, or vice versa? When my thoughts become calm, how does my body respond? So, with time, your thoughts become quieter and they become more calm. And do I notice my body responding in a similar fashion? Next, can I feel the balance between fire, which represents your mind and your heart, and water, which represents the body, the essence, the kidneys? And again, it's not about perfection, it's just allowing this process to naturally unfold and observe the harmony between thinking and being. The next posture, the third posture, is called divine nature of peaceful mindedness. Now your hands are literally, turned inward. Just now the palms are facing outward. Now the palms are facing inward. In fact, is facing your temple. And this sewing is helpful to release mental stagnation. And the questions to contemplate on are, what thoughts create tension or resistance within me? Next, what would my mind feel like if it flowed freely like water? Finally, can I allow thoughts to arise and pass without grasping them, without hanging on and being attached to them? Let your mind become clear and unobstructed. Now we move on to the fourth meditation posture of Dao Ying, divine nature of perfect harmony. And this is meant to help you transform difficulties. So your posture here is the hands are at the shoulder level, outstretched in front, with your elbows slightly bent, and your palms are facing each other. And remember now, your shoulders are relaxed. Drop them. And contemplate on the following questions. How do I usually react to challenge or adversity? Because we're talking about harmony here, right? Can calm awareness transform difficulty into insights? And then what happens when I meet life circumstances with stillness rather than resistance? So allow your adversity to become a teacher rather than an obstacle. Fifth meditation posture or so ying, Dao Ying, so ying, divine nature of equal mindedness, which is to cultivate equanimity. And contemplate on the following questions. But before we do that, let's make sure the posture is correct. Instead of the palms facing each other now, your hands are still outstretched in front of you with your elbows bent, shoulders relaxed. Now your hands are relaxed at the wrists. So the fingers and the whole hand is just hanging. And ask the following questions. What disturbs my inner balance? And what does a true calm mind feel like? And finally, can I experience the mind like a clear lake, undisturbed by passing winds? And try to rest in steady awareness and emotional balance. And we come to the sixth Taoing meditation posture and Soying, called Divine Nature of Constant Subtle Virtue. This helps you reinforce the integrity of practice. And posture wise, your palms now have turned instead of dropping your hands and your fingers. Right now, the fingertips are facing each other, and your palms are facing your middle dantian, the heart center. And ask yourself the following questions. Are my intentions clear and sincere? We're talking about constant, subtle virtue. What qualities strengthen my character and spirit, my Shen? And finally, how does disciplined practice refine my energy and awareness? So the goal here is to allow natural virtue to arise through consistent cultivation, and they become obvious to you the more you practice. The seventh and final Tao Ying meditation posture in level one is divine nature of original simplicity. This is to help us return to the source. And so the hands now, instead of being at the chest, it's dropped down to in front of your solar plexus. The palms are now facing down. Relax your shoulders and ask the following questions. Beneath all activity and complexity, what remains? Can I return to a state of simplicity and naturalness? What does it feel like to align with the deeper order of nature? The goal here is to rest in the quiet awareness before thought and form arise. So these are the seven Taoying meditation with Shouying, with hand postures that I'd like you to work on for this week. And then there's also a acupressure and self-massage section for level one. So we begin. So I'll review this first. Warming the eyes. So we rub our hands and then we cup them over our eyes and do this 3 times. Okay, I'm going to go through this with you. pressing the rim of the valley. So we're going to press within the rim, upper and lower rim. Massaging the eyes circularly 36 times. Massaging the temples with the back of your knuckle 36 times. Massage the nose, same thing. Here at LI 20, at the sides of your ala nasi, you massage that. This is really great for your allergies. For example, massage the ear, so we just kind of pinch our ears all around and pull on the earlobes, and then massage the neck. Okay, we do that on both sides. So, all right, let's um, let's do that again. Warming the eyes, cupping. Feel the heat emanating from the Lao Gong, which is pericardium 8. And then taking your thumb, press against the upper rim, taking your index finger and press along the lower rim. 3 times in each area, pressing from the inside to the outer part of the rim. Massaging the eyes, so use this part of your index finger. Press against the eyeball very gently and then circulate like this in a circle. Now, if you have contact lenses, please do not do this. You must remove your contact lens, then perform this massage. Do not ever massage your eyes with the contact lens in. It may scratch your cornea. So be mindful of that. Okay, slowly, right? Back of your knuckles, massage. So the natural motion is up, back, down, forward. That's the direction you'll be massaging. Also 36 times. And now with these index finger massage, your LI 20 Ying Xiang, that's the name. It's got welcoming fragrance 36 times. Trust me, this beats you having to needle this point. It's a little sensitive. So you might prefer finger pressure than an actual needle in there to help you open up your sinuses and passageway, reduce the phlegm, draining, and congestion. All right, and then we pinch the ears, right? So just start from the top, pinch around the ear. So do that 3 times, pinch all the way around, and then just pull on the earlobe. So this will massage your senses, right? And then just stroke the back of your neck. So obviously do this as much as you can. So ideally you want to do it like a enough repetition. So that's why we use 36. 36 is significant because it is it's three multiples of 12. 12 is a cycle, and the three denotes the heaven, the human, and the earth sphere, the Trinity. And we switch our hands and we go to the other side. And that concludes our class 10. So go through the meditation postures, the seven meditation postures, and the contemplation of the questions, and then the self acupressure and self massage practice. And if you have extra time, review your Taoing movements. And then we will see you at the next class. Take good care. Bye bye now.